There's three numbers, 2, 4, and 3. 12 is going to be the common denominator. So the first one you're going to have to multiply by 6 and 6.
6a squared.
3 and 3. And this one you're going to have to multiply by 4 and 4. Now let's look at the variables. How many a's do we need on the bottom? We need a squared in the end, right? So this one is missing an a squared and an a squared. This one is fine. This one's just missing an a. So we're going to have three fractions, subtract, plus in between. 12a squared, 12a squared, 12a squared. 30a squared, 9, 8a. Now we have rules for fractions, have a common denominator. Add or subtract the tops, so we'll have 30a squared. I'm going to just write it in the proper order. It really doesn't matter if you did the minus 9 first and then the plus 8a at the end. Mathematically, we like to have the highest power and go down. That way, if we could factor it later as a trinomial, it would be easy to do. Again, the top, there's no common factor. You have to think this whole thing gets combined as one thing. Don't be tempted to cancel out the 30 and the 12.
Don't you think about it, people?
So that is our final answer. For B, 6B. All right, B. Looking at our fractions. We don't have a common denominator, but we have 8, 3, and 6. What is the common denominator? 24. Can you see the first one you're going to need to multiply by 3 and 3, the second one by 8 and 8, and the third one with 4 and 4. And now we'll look at our variables. We need to have z squared, so this one's missing z and z. And z squared and z squared. What's that? Z is Canadian, Z is American, za is Australian. Za. Okay, here we go.
Don't even think about calling me Australian, people.
24.
Americans, sorry.
24 minus 24. There's our common denominator. And again, we have to think of those like that. So when we multiply it through, the 3 gets multiplied by the 2z and the 1, 6z plus 3. 8z gets multiplied by the 4z and the minus 4, giving us 32z squared minus 32z. And the 4z squared gets multiplied through, giving us 32z squared minus 4z cubed. We have a common denominator. Can you see this is going to have one of the ones where you're going to make the mistake? This whole last fraction is being subtracted. Okay, so I'm going to, just so that you don't make the mistake, because you're going to be tempted, this is the thing about algebra, another temptation with algebra. You have to write a lot of numbers and letters down. Sometimes that's tiring. So you try to take shortcuts so you don't have to write as much stuff down. And inevitably, when you take a shortcut, you miss something like the subtracting, or you make little mistakes. So I'm going to, first of all, just write out the whole thing. 6z plus 3 plus 32z squared minus 32z minus 32z squared plus 4z cubed. Can you see that I distributed this negative to both of those. And now I'm going to write things out in the proper order. The 4z cubed would come first. I have like terms with 32z squared minus 32z squared. In fact, just for fun, those will go away. We have like terms with our z. 6z minus 32z will leave us with negative 26z. And we just have one number plus 3. Again, this whole top gets grouped together because of the minus and the plus sign.
Which means no canceling.
No canceling unless we could factor the top, which we can't. There's our final answer. And pick a pen that doesn't cancel. Oh, good.
It works.
9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. No, I'm just doing that right now for you to see that those things are connected. You will lose major points if you cancel when you're not allowed to.
So don't
Okay?
take out